It's 4 o'clock on February 11th, and I'd like to call this meeting to order and welcome everyone here this afternoon. And would everybody please stand for their pledge, please? Please salute.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You have before you a recommended agenda. Are there any changes or additions to the agenda?
No changes.
Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
A motion from Wes and a second from Darla. All in favor? Unanimous. And Mr. Tom Cleveland should be joining us at any time. I think he's stuck in traffic. And the first presenter today is Tom Wenning with the construction update.
Good afternoon.
Our favorite. Slowed down with the rain, I'm sure.
A little bit.
It must be a mess out there.
Mm.
We're fighting through it. It's all part of it. So as a preface, I wanted to begin with an update as to the capital program's continued alignment with the board goals. So paramount, as we know, safety, security vestibules. We completed the elementary schools last summer. Since that time, the security vestibule upgrades for all of the middle schools is underway, and we'll be procuring that this spring and beginning construction in the summer. Besides the vestibules, really for all the new construction, for all the renovations, other enhancements related to security is also taking place with the cameras, access door controls, and open visualization throughout the design process, always making that paramount. Goal number 2, teaching the whole child, CTAE program. We are about to procure 7 of the middle schools CTAE program enhancements, renovations, additions at some of our middle schools. At each of the high schools, they've got their unique CTAE programs that we've designed and built spaces for. Obviously, the academies, we've got Academy for Creative Education, broken ground now. The Performing Arts Centers, most notably Focal, coming out of the ground, as well as the renovations that were completed and upgrades at all of our high schools last fall. And we really began the program a couple years ago with renovating and upgrading all of the artificial turf competition fields and have gotten great feedback from all the athletic directors on that. Certainly we recognize that the construction program is a lion's share of the bond capital program. So we try to be good stewards of those dollars, and I think we have succeeded the last 6 years, beginning with cost-effective design, utilizing prototypes. That's a smart, prudent, fiscal, good discipline. We believe throughout all our procurement processes, we develop some real competition, and then throughout the construction process, trying to limit claims, change orders that can be part of the construction industry. Lastly, probably one of the more difficult ones, making our large schools feel small. Obviously, the construction program, capital program, relieves the overcrowding. Now that we're over 50,000 students, that's just a daily, continuing challenge for all of us. Even within our big schools, we have compartmentalized academics, created more intimate common areas. So, although it's a daily grind with the bricks and mortar and the mud, we're always keeping the governance and team goals in mind. So going forward, looking at some of the construction updates since the past month, this is an aerial view of the progress at East Forsyth High School. We have structural steel continuing, masonry continuing, roofing continuing. Brick is about to begin. And this is the back view. This is the last section of structural steel. This is gymnasium. Everything else from a structural perspective is substantially complete. We've probably got 2 to 3 weeks, depending on weather, of structural steel top out. So that continues to be, we were a lot ahead of schedule, and now we're a little ahead of schedule. But understandably, and everybody's fighting through it. As we mentioned just CTAE a moment ago, this is the construction program portion, CTAE program at East. This is the back view of the property. So septic back in this area, pretty significant retention area. This is the competition football field. You see the slabs on grade for the field house, concessions, restroom areas. So this will be artificial turf, obviously, as will the multi-purpose practice field. And then softball and baseball is back in that area. So this is an aerial view of Focal and ACE. So in the back is the ACE pad. In the foreground will be the Arts and Learning Center. If you could, just focus on this. The construction, long story short, you always start at the lowest point. That's just prudent so you don't undermine new construction. So this is the orchestra pit. And I'll go through this a little bit, and I'll show you the blueprint right after for a reason, because this is obviously different than the normal classrooms that we show you every month. So this area will be the stage, and then back of house in here. The lobby extends all the way back to here in the entrance. And then we've got the 1,200 seats rising up this way. So again, if you focus on that point, when we go to the blueprint, to give you a little more detail, because this is probably one of the more exciting jobs we've done here in the district. This is the pit that I just showed you, the stage. Some great storage in the back for heavier things like the risers, pianos. Much easier to just bring them out to the stage versus the struggle. Black box, that's a little different there. Rehearsal area here. The shop, the scene shop for the preparation of the various acts is here. In back of house, some dressing rooms, some kitchens, restrooms, back in, I lose my arrow. So restrooms both flanking these sides. Again, this is I said 1,200, it's 1,188, so just shy of 1,200 seats. And then we've got a pretty nice lobby out here. So I figured now that it's a little easier to visualize.
Total with 200 in the black box, being 16 in the main.
He's talking the lower floors.
Oh, okay.
So this is the whole site of ACE PAC. Obviously, we're in the Board of Education building. The reason why I wanted to show you that, we've got a pretty significant grading change from where we're at going down here. So this is the retaining wall. It goes slow. It's one of the toughest pieces of work to get done. That will rise so that when we balance the site, we cut in front and fill in back. Then we'll have a level campus, and this will be the ACE building pad, and we'll be starting foundations there soon.
Haven't hit any rock?
No rock. The opposite of that, unsuitable soil, but we fought through that a little bit. So we're getting there, but fortunately no rock. So that gives you a little bit of a feel for that pretty significant elevation change in the retaining wall that's required to build up to get to building pad. This is an aerial view of West Forsyth High School. The exterior is complete. Interiors are substantially in progress, and next month we'll begin to show you the interior shots of that. So we're set for FF&E, being sensitive to everything that's got to happen after construction gets done. That'll be the first in the system, working with FF&E to get that done, and then we'll move to Pools Mill. I think from a narrative point, we covered all of the projects for the high schools. So going to the middle schools, just to explain the site a little bit, this is the high point, pretty significant lowering down to the playing field. So as a result, this is the administration area at a higher level than here. So the administration area is one floor, and that ties in with a bridge here to the second floor of the classrooms. So this ground floor of the classrooms will be one floor beneath the administration. Hence, and I'll show you the photo next, that's why there's a pretty significant retaining wall here, which was key to get done in the rain, which was, as an understatement, a challenge. But that's why it's a little bit different looking than you're used to seeing on some of our other projects. But this retaining wall is now complete, which allowed then all the backfill to occur and grading for the building pad for the administrative area. And we're now raising this building pad area for the classrooms. An aerial view of Pools Mill Elementary School. This is the entry and porte-cochere, the backside. And as I show you that, we're starting to get into some finishes. And I wanted to show you that because I think it's pretty unique. It's a great thing. When you're at Pools Mill now, you know you're not at any of the other 21 elementary schools. I think Greg Pruitt, designer with Lindsay Pope Brayfield, did a great job here. This porte-cochere, right, is a tribute to design and reflects the Pools Mill covered bridge, for those of you that know the area. So the grist mill, some of the flagstone, and we have the same kind of architectural features in the lobby inside as well. So I thought that was really well done and different and not the normal prototype. Similarly, now that Pools Mill exterior is done, interior is well underway, we'll begin to show you the interior photos of that. And, again, FF&E
Colors for inside Pools Mill, do you remember?
is similar to, it's more of the natural setting in stone. You're going to see some differences from some of the other elementary schools that we've done. So this, in a way, sets some of the color tone for the interior as well. It's pretty similar. So what we haven't covered for the middle schools or elementary schools was, as I did mention, the CTAE projects, those 7 renovations, additions at the middle school. Procurement is taking place in the next couple days, depending on which of the 7 schools. Get all of that approved by the board in April. Long lead items, expedited material so that we can hit the ground running first day school evacuates. And on a couple miscellaneous things, we'll get started early during school, which then leaves elementary school 23. Design is in progress, and we're looking to procure that this fall. Any questions on the program? Okay, thanks. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Next are future agenda items. Anybody have anything to put on our agendas? Future? Okay, we will move on to maintenance van purchase by Brad Richardson.
Good afternoon. Thank
Hello.
you for the opportunity to present on behalf of Matt Wart today his request for the purchase of 4 Chevy Express vans. These will be modified, outfitted for his 4 new tradesmen he's going to be adding recently. So without further ado, the request would be to purchase 4 Chevy Express vans. I would ask the superintendent to recommend.
Recommend approval.
We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion from Wes and a second from... Oh, Tom, I'm sorry. And a second from Kristin. Any further discussion, questions? Hearing none. All in favor?
Thanks, Brad.
Thank you.
Thank you. Motion passed.
If weather patterns don't change, next time I might be asking for some boats, maybe a
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, at this time, do we have a motion to go in executive session for personnel and student educational records per our affidavit?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion from Tom and a second from Kristin. All in favor?